welcome to the Tatter, Crochet and Tatting podcast. I'm back. This is a podcast about all things yarny, tatting, crochet, started getting into cross stitch and embroidery, and this episode you'll see that I'm starting to get into some knitting and just all of the yarny goodness that is yarn and the fiber community. My name is Stephanie, and I am coming to you from La Mirada, California, here in Southern California. And this is episode 8, I think. But that brings us into our opening segment, life updates. So I've been gone for like a month and a half, somewhere around there, a really long time, when I was doing weekly episodes, because life happened, and all good things, just a lot of it. I took time off for my birthday, and my husband and I celebrated our 2-year wedding anniversary. And so then it kept happening, life, and I was too much going on and too stressful, and I didn't have a lot of downtime. I didn't have a lot of time to crochet or do anything yarny. I did have plenty of time to buy things though, so we'll get into that. And so the big life update is that I'm changing jobs. So I am a pastor in the United Methodist Church here in Southern California, and I've been serving at a church part-time, and then the other part of my time I have been working at the Claremont School of Theology up in LA as the director of the Writing Center, so deal with tutors and ESL classes and that kind of fun stuff. And this summer I will be commissioned. It's a step in our ordination process, so I will be entitled to a full-time appointment at wherever. And so I requested to be made full-time at the seminary so that I'm not working 50 hours a week and commuting and all that kind of fun stuff. So we finally announced to the church a couple weeks ago that I'm leaving, and that was sad, but they were very supportive, because one of the main reasons we want to do this is we want to start a family. And so they were very supportive of all of that and really wonderful. And then, yeah, starting July 1st, because that's when our appointment year cycles. Every year we are either reappointed or moved. Starts on July 1st, I'll be full-time at the school. So instead of working 50 hours a week, I will be working 37 and a half for about the same amount of money. But it does mean that we have to move, because this amazing, wonderful, ignore the messy dining room table behind me, but this house that we've been living in is provided by the church, and so we have to move. And I've now I've been inside like 5 different places, and then we have looked at, either driven around or like seriously looked at online, like 15. So what, Peanut, what are you barking at? The dog wants to come inside. Hold on a second. So yeah, so we are moving, which is not my favorite. I actually kind of hate moving, but it just has to happen. So things have been a little insane. And then I was gone in Houston. Last weekend I was gone for like 4 or 5 days for a conference. I'm leaving again in a couple weeks for like a week and a half for another conference. And then June we have our big conference, which is when I'll have my commissioning ceremony, and like all of these things are happening all at once. So I haven't podcasted. And today I knew that if I didn't do it, it wasn't going to get done, and I really wanted to get back in touch with you guys and show you all of the things so that my next podcast is not 8 hours long. But my office is really hot because it is a high of like 90 degrees Fahrenheit today, which I figured out yesterday is like 32, 33 degrees Celsius. So it's really hot, and my office does not have great air conditioning. So I'm in my living room. We have like this whole thing of windows, hence the weird, like terrible glare on one side of my face. And the windows are amazing. The glare is terrible. So I had to like move the couch. Luckily we have hardwood floors, so it was easy enough to do. But I'm in my living room with my terribly messy dining room table, because we never eat at the dining room table. We're millennials. So anyway, that's my life update, and I don't know how often I'll be able to podcast. I'm hoping every other week, but we'll see, because we're probably gonna end up moving at the end of the month so that we're in our new place by June 1st, which is not that long from now. So, to the yarny things. Yarny things. Since I last podcasted, I have not finished that many things. As I mentioned, I haven't had a lot of crochet time, but I have done some stuff, and so I do want to show you. Finished objects. So I talked about last time, I got this new Karen yarn at Michael's, and I was gonna make a wrap, like a something about diamonds wrap, that's meant for Lion Brand mandala. And so I started making it, and it was the worsted weight Karen was too chunky for it. It wasn't coming out right, it wasn't shaping right. So I found a different pattern, and then I ended up making this. So this is the Central Park scarf from someone. Is there a copyright on here or something? Naughty Mermaid, Knotty. I found it on Ravelry. I just looked up patterns that were made with this particular yarn, and she had done this in a different colorway, and I liked it. I'll show you. It has a puff stitches, and then in between. And I love the colors of this, especially the yellow and the pink together, and then it gets a little darker. And we go to gray and blue and the yellow. And so I really liked the way it came out, and it was really quick to work up. I just wanted to see how this yarn worked up, and I really like it. I have another one of these in this colorway, and then I think I got some in a different colorway too, so I just love the rainbow. Of course, it has been entirely too hot to wear it since I made it, so I haven't actually worn it yet, but it's there. And this is 100% acrylic, but it's pretty soft. So that was it was a fun thing. The big thing that I finished, that I have worn 80 million times because it's absolutely beautiful, is my Hotel of Bees. I don't even know if you all have seen anything having to do with this, because I kind of finished it in the middle of my not podcasting, so ta-da! And I'll post some pictures, especially the one of Meatball sitting on it, because he's adorable. But this is my Hotel of Bees shawl. I made this in the Peekaboo Yarns, which is a local dyer here in Southern California. I believe I showed you the yarn. I think I showed you the yarn. I don't remember, and I don't have time to look it up. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. But this is so cool. I love all the different sections. The pattern is like 20 something pages long. It's very detailed, which is fantastic, and was really helpful in getting all these sections. Adam, my husband, called this my bacon shawl, because this is where you start, and it kind of looks like bacon in these colors. Anyway, but yeah, so the open honeycomb pattern, and then the, I think they call this filet crochet, that part. And then I love, let me see if I can see it, one where you can see it really well. The little bees. So you do puff stitches, and then it has wings, and it looks like a little bee. It's so cute. And I love it, and it's so soft, and this yarn was beautiful. I didn't know if I was gonna like it, but then I blocked it, and it was amazing. And so yeah, I've been wearing this all the time, because these are the kinds of colors, the pink and the, you know, the kind of peachy and the off-white and stuff that I wear, so it goes with everything. Or I can wear black, and it goes with that. So, yay, Hotel of Bees. And I'll put all the information for what I think is gonna work best for this. I've been thinking a lot about podcasting. Well, I have not been podcasting. First, not as pretty, but more comfortable location, because now I can sit on the couch and I have everything in front of me and next to me, instead of like on the floor and I'm leaning over and picking stuff up, like I was sitting in my desk chair in my office. But also different ways of doing it. So it was taking a lot of time to put in all the subtitles and, you know, the names of everything. So what I'm gonna do is if it's a project that I'm working on, I'm gonna link to it in my Ravelry project page, so that you could then have access to the yarn, to the pattern, any notes that I've put on there. I don't usually do a lot of notes, but if they're there, you can see them. And then if it's an individual pattern I haven't started working on or something yet, then I'll just link directly to the pattern or the dyer if they're online for the yarn. So make my life easier. Okay, I think that's all of my finished objects. I honestly don't know. I didn't write down any notes. I got home from seeing some potential housing options, and I had lunch with my friend, and then I got home and I started podcasting. So I don't have any notes. I'm just winging it here. You're welcome. But I do have a bunch of whips. So, well, not a bunch, but some really nice ones. This is my bag from Molly Klein that she graciously made for me for my blur. And I have been participating in, I think it's over and I missed it, finishing it, but Cal from Rebecca Langford of Yarn and Chai. I did the Malia patterns from her over for Christmas, scarves and cowls and hats and stuff. And then she did a bag cowl. And so I did that, and this is the inside. So let me turn it right side out. But I finished the bag. I just have to finish weaving in my ends. And then I'm going to attach the handles. But I have a woman at my church who sews. And so I have asked her to help me sew a lining in. So we're gonna do that this week, and then it'll be done. But this is the bag. It's a purse, really. And I'm gonna sew down the ends according to the pattern and everything so that it's a flat bottom bag. But you do it as a tube, and I just love the stitch pattern on here with the puff stitches and the third loop. And then, you know, up here's where the handles are gonna go. I have grommets, I have a grommet kit, and then I have rope for the handles. I put one of my little wooden things on here that says, you know, Tatted Tatter or Crochet by Steph, whichever one I choose. But that's it. So it's moving on along nicely. It has a good number of ends because there were a couple of knots. This is Lion Brand 24/7 cotton, so it's a mercerized cotton. I want to say it's a number 3, so it's like a DK weight. And then use a tiny hook. It was like a 3.75 or something, which honestly isn't that tiny, but it took forever. Especially this like solid section on the bottom. It felt like it took forever. And so yeah, let me see if I have plenty of the yarn. Oh, here, this one still is in the band because I was able to pull them from the middle. So this is it. And the color is Jade. And then the other color is Ecru, or Off-White. And I really like it. I'm excited to start using it because the purse that I've been using is starting to fall apart. So it's perfect timing to be able to use that. Okay, once they're done, they can go on the floor in the bags. Another whip that I am almost done with in the bag that I got that came with the kit. I also don't think you've seen this. Maybe you've seen the kit. I have no idea. But this is my Caravan of Love shawl from Emma of the Potter and Bloom podcast. It's her pattern, and then she did a kit with this company out of Canada to do the yarn. I don't know how to pronounce it. This is the band. It's spelled K-R-I-T-Y-U-M. So Critium, I have no idea. But it's critiumhandmade.etsy.com, so it's from Etsy. And this is their Sona base. Who knows if I'm pronouncing that correctly. With gold, so it's the same colors that Emma did for hers, but I got it on a base that has gold sparklies in it because gold sparklies are the best. So, ta-da! It's showing up a little pinker than it is, well, a little darker, I think, than it is in person. Once I finish it, I'll post pictures on Instagram and everything. But it's a really simple pattern. It's very, you know, easy. Like, I can do other things while I'm working on it. And I'm almost done. So basically what you do at the end is you keep doing the striping until you run out. And this is how much I have left of the light pink, and then this is the dark. Let's see what did they call these colors? They have interesting names. So the light pink is blush. And then what did I just do with the other band? Oh, here it is. Oh, and then the darker, so this one is called Thumbs Up. And I'll definitely run out of the blush before I run out of this one. So I'll keep doing that, and then I should have enough of this left to work on something else. And I also got a little bag to put my hook and my my pen and everything to keep track of my pattern. And I got a bunch of these scissors on Amazon. I got 6 for like $7 or something like that. Maybe it was 14. It was 3 for $7. But they're really convenient to put in my bags. So, yay! And the bag, this bag and the bigger bag were also made by the Critium people. So, what I've been working on. And I'm sure you've seen this one, but it is really meditative. I feel like it was a little pricey given how simple the pattern is. I think it came as a kit, so it wasn't that big a deal, but I think individually the pattern itself is like $4 or $5 US when you convert it. So it's a little much, but it's really pretty, and I like it a lot. I'm gonna sniff it. It's one of my favorite things to do is sniff yarn. I have a problem. Next whip, moving on, there was something else I was going to talk about with the Caravan of Love. Anyway, is not really a whip, but is something that I am now doing. I'm learning how to knit. So this is my bag from the LA Yarn Crawl. I'll show you a lot of the stuff I got for LA Yarn Crawl, but this is from the Long Beach Yarn Shop, Alamitos Bay Yarn Company. It's really nice. I've never been there. It's like right on the water, which is fantastic, but I'm knitting. So my mother-in-law was here conveniently during LA Yarn Crawl, and she is a knitter. And so I was like, you know what, why don't you teach me how to do some knitting? So she bought me some, these are 8s, straight needles. I don't remember, they're this long, which I think is like 10 inches or something. And she just taught me the basic knit stitch, and then I went online and did the purl stitch tutorials, and so I started doing that. And then up here I like accidentally skipped it. I'm not making anything, I'm just practicing on these. And the yarn is a Deborah Norville Everyday, so it's her anti-pill acrylic in white, which I think I showed you that, and that I was gonna like come up with my own thing, but since it's nice and smooth, it's a good acrylic to use on the bamboo needles. So yeah, and so what I did for the knitting was, if you've ever been on craftsy.com, they have a lot of videos, and that's actually how I started learning how to crochet, was doing a Craftsy class on amigurumi from Stacy Track. Hi, Davey. I don't know if you watch this podcast, but I hope you do. And so I get emails from Craftsy. I buy stuff from them every now and then, yarn and such. And they have this new thing called Craftsy Unlimited, where you have access to all of their tutorial videos. You get free shipping, like all this kind of stuff. And they had a really good deal. It was like $120 for the year. And you got a free kit. So, you know, yarn and pattern and such, and then like a huge discount on like free stuff. You know, basically a gift card to use in their store. And I was like, if I'm gonna learn how to knit, I'm trying to do embroidery and cross stitch and all this kind of stuff, it'll totally be worth it. Meatball? The cat that never meows just meowed. Yeah, that was weird. Go get a Peanut. Go see if it's okay. He's probably quacking at the birds. That's what we call it when he makes his little noises at the birds outside. Craftsy. So I signed up for that, and I started watching one of they have what they call a startup library, and one of them is knitting, and so it's a woman who's teaching knitting. And the main stuff that she first talked about was like not hooks, needles and yarn, and what is knitting, and how to get yourself set up for it and all that. So I did get a bunch of, I moved away from the couch, a bunch of just clover bamboo, circulars. There's 3 different patterns in the class, and so I got the needles that I'm gonna need for those. And I just got these at Joann's, you know, I had a coupon, so I got a couple. I also got DPNs. I don't know why, but I had a moment because I'm sure it will be a very long time before I use DPNs, especially because they're way shorter. So I got a 7, an 8, a 15, and then I think I have another one. Hold on. Oh no! Oh, and an 11. So the 7 and the 11 and the 15 are for the class. The class calls for a 17 for a super bulky, for a cowl, that's part of it, but first of all, super bulky yarn, I'm good. So I bought some bulky, that's on its way. Of course I have other bulkies, but excuses to buy yarn, people. And because they don't really sell 17s in stores. You have to like really look for them or buy them online. So I went ahead and did the 15s. And I'll just check my gauge. Since I know how to do that, I don't have to worry about that. I can figure it out and go from there. So I am learning how to knit, you know, in my free time. Okay, what else? What else do we have? Why don't I show, well, I'll show you this too. So one of the other impulses that I had is because I knew it was gonna get hot, is doing a lot of sitting and hot things on your lap is not fun when it's hot outside, especially because in LA it gets really hot. So I bought a kit from Knit Picks for dyeing. And first it was because I have these gorgeous rose bushes in my front yard, and I'll put some pictures in. I absolutely love them. They make me really happy. They're the only thing that I have not killed other than my pets. I'm terrible at keeping plants alive. But luckily these roses have been there for a long time and they don't need much. They get watered, they just need to be, you know, cut back every now and then, and they're fine. So I really wanted to do some natural dyeing with the rose petals because they had just bloomed again after being cut back pretty far. And so I bought some bare yarn, and then I got a kit of acid dyes, which I have not played with because I want to finish reading the book that came with them about how to use them so that I do not destroy this beautiful kitchen nor mess up the slightly, you know, yarn that I paid good money for. So anyway, so I did try with the rose petals. I followed a blog that I saw where they dyed cloth, and I believe it was linen. And so I just kind of like, sure, we'll see what happens. And then of course everybody came out with their natural dyeing videos after that. So I watched those in the meantime. But I dyed some DK skeins and they're brown. There actually ended up being this really, really nice camel color. So the only good thing about all these windows is wonderful natural lights. You can actually see what this looks like. And these are Knit Picks, one of their DK weight yarns, whatever. But they came out really nice. They're not pink. And my husband very astutely pointed out that I used apple cider vinegar instead of regular vinegar, instead of white vinegar, because I didn't have any. And so that may have contributed to the brownness of this yarn. But I still like the color. I think it's really nice. With something else, or even this as like a basic, you know, cowl, scarf kind of thing would be really nice, I think. And so I have a bunch of other yarn. I've been saving avocado pits because it's avocado season. And so I will try some of that this week, dyeing. I have one more skein of the DK, so I'll do that, and then I have some fingering weight yarns that are bare also. And then I'll try the acid dyes, probably after we move, because it's a lot to take out and set up and put out, and then to just have to repack it back all up. And I already have enough packing to do in my life. So, but I think these are great. They're not pink, they're not rose colored, but they're camel-y. Works for me. And I did a combination of different colored roses, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or I boiled it for too long, or whatever. I don't care, it looks nice. So, that's everything that I'm currently working on or have done. Yes. And then the main thing, oh, hasn't even been a half an hour yet. Look at this. The main thing that we're going to be talking about is Stashay Away, because I have bought so much stuff. So one of the things about this new job is that I'll have to be paying rent, right? And so we will not have as much cash in hand, and so I will not have as much yarn money. So I am hoarding yarn. So that I have plenty. I basically am building up my stash. Since I've only been crocheting for about a year, I needed to build it up, and I think I've pretty much gotten there. But one of the things that happened was yarn crawl, and so I'll put a picture of all the stuff that I got, but I will show you some of the things. So we went to 3 different shops out of the 80 million. That are in LA. It's not actually 80 million, but anyway. And again, I went with my mother-in-law because she was in town, so we had a lot of fun squishing yarn together. And the first one we did was Alamitos Bay, which I showed you the unicorn bag that I got. And so from there, I also got unicorn stitch markers that are really cute, little unicorn charms. And I got a really pretty shawl pin, which I'll post a picture of because of course, without taking notes, I forgot to bring it. But this is her packaging for it. Her name is Pat Spencer, and she hand makes them. And it's really cool because they're circular, so it's a bead in the middle and then wire going out and around so that you're not, poking yourself. It actually seems more secure. But it doesn't have to be the 2 pieces where it's a ring and a stick and you put it together. So that was really cool. And I really like it. I've been using it with my Hotel of Bees a lot. And then they had an author there, and they did a raffle, and I won the book, which she, of course, signed for me. And I plan on reading it and then giving it to my sister for my niece and nephew to read. My nephew's old enough for this, and my niece will be a little while, but yeah, it's called Zinnia and the Bees by Danielle Davis. And it's an older elementary, middle school aged book about a young girl, a young woman who is a knitter and a yarn bomber. And it just sounds like fun. And I got it for free, so that was really cool. I look forward to reading that. Let's see, what else happened? Some of the yarns that I got, the big dyer they had at Alamitos Bay was Long Dog yarn, and they did a trunk show and everything. We missed her actually being there to talk to, but I did get some of her yarn. So she had these fades. So this is the unicorn fade, and I just love these colors. Super unicorny, which in itself saying that is corny, but anyway. So this was really nice. I like this one a lot. This is her Bounce sock base. So 75% superwash, 25% nylon. It's fingering weight, kind of a light fingering, because this is 5 20-gram skeins, and it's 463 yards altogether for 100 grams. So I like this. And this is actually what made me think about knitting, is because I think it would be really cool to do like a fade scarf with this, and it would be really basic. So my mother-in-law was like, don't start with that. Start with the cheap acrylic on some straight needles, some really big ones, and learn how to do it, and then go there. So assuming I stick with that plan, that's what this will be for. And then we went to Phoebe's Needle Art, which is in Claremont, where I work in LA, and I got some DK weight peekaboo because they'll go really well with this. So it's like a purple and a fuchsia magenta color. And so I'm thinking about doing a crochet log cabin blanket with these. My mother-in-law is doing a knit log cabin right now, and it's really cool. If you don't know what log cabin knitting or crochet is, you should totally look it up because it's really cool. It's very avant-garde and arty, which is good times. And so I got some more of that there. She gave us this really nice finger balm lotion stuff. to keep your fingers moisturized so that your hangnails and stuff don't catch on your yarn and your needles. It smells like vanilla. And so once I work on that, I'll show it to you. And then we went to make one, which is in Laverne, which is like 10 minutes from Claremont. And so that's my new favorite, like, local yarn shop, because it's 10 minutes from where I work. And I got some more Zara from Peekaboo, which I'll show you in a second. And I got a bunch of stuff there. I'll post a picture of everything that I bought from all the different shops. But one of the ones that I wanted to show you, because it was new to me, was this. So this is from Woolen Boone, which apparently is pretty well known, but I had never seen it before. This is a husband and wife team. I think they're out of Portland? New Hampshire, north. So, but I loved these colors. They're very, you know, fall, kind of muted, but then the nice pops of like blue and stuff in there. And so I really like it. This is their Boone Classic. It's a 4-ply fingering sock yarn. It's 100% superwash, 435 yards to 100 grams. This is the colorway Hands Down. And they have a bunch of this at Make One. I've seen it since there, so if I like working with it. I like I like the twist on this. It's not super obvious. I prefer it when the twist isn't really obvious on yarn, because then it's like a smoother look. Seems to be my aesthetic. So, Woolen Boone, it was good times. What else? Is there anything else? Oh, the cat is sneezing. You okay, Biscuits? Yeah, she's fine. She's sitting in the sun staring at the birds outside. I did get, I'm gonna have to get up for this. Oof. And by get up, I mean lean over really far. I watch Molly Klein's podcast from Molly Klein Design, because I love her yarn. And she does cross stitch and everything, and she had been talking about this company called the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and they are doing a spring like cross stitch along. I don't know what they call it. I don't remember. Let's see if it says on the... Oh, it's a club. So they you buy the kit, or you can just buy the pattern, and then they release the pattern in 2 parts. And I've already gotten the first part of the pattern. I haven't started working on it yet. This is their card. It's so cute. But I thought this would be a fun cross-stitch pattern. This is to put the thread on, the DMC. And this is the kit. So it comes with all the colors. Most of them are DMC, and then there's one, it's called Weeks Dye Works. And they do like hand-dyed embroidery thread, hand-dyed fiber. And then I got a little needle minder to go with it so that I don't put my needles in my mouth, because I have a habit of putting my stitch markers and things in my mouth when I am working, which I know is terrible, and everybody says, you know, that they wish they didn't do it, but they all do it. So I definitely do not want to do that with embroidery needles. And it comes with needles too. They seem a little small, but I think everything is worked with 2 threads. So yeah. And it's a hand-dyed Ida. And it's pretty big. It's a, you know, it's a pretty sizable piece of work. And so it's very exciting. I'm excited to do that cross-stitch project. And again, another thing that I can do that's yarny, thread related, that doesn't involve sitting with a bunch of wool in my lap, because it's gonna be hot. It already is hot, and it's gonna stay this way, unfortunately. I much prefer the cooler weather. So let's see, some other stuff that I've got. Oh, I did get one of the kits that I talked about from the Craftsy Unlimited. And I got a kit that had a pattern that I didn't really care about because the other ones I either already had or I didn't particularly care for the yarn that came with them. So I really bought this kit for the yarn. It's a sweater pattern that I don't think I will ever make because it's not my style. I'll hold on to it just in case, but I really got it for the yarn. So this is Cloudborne's Merino Alpaca Sport. And so it's 80% superwash, 20% baby alpaca, sport weight. This is the colorway Ocean. And I got 17 of these for free. 17. So I basically just said, because you can get the kit for free up to a certain dollar amount. And so I just got like the long sleeve biggest size because that came with the most yarn and it was free. So I can make a really nice Afghan, or if I do want to make a different sweater out of it later, I can, or use it with other projects. And so, yeah, I really like it because this is 100 grams, yes. Oh no, these are 50 gram. That's right. So 17 50-gram skeins for free. How can you pass that up? That. Other things that I have acquired. I got some more charms to make stitch markers. Again, something I can do. It's not hot. These are so cute. This is the same company. It's called Happy Bees Craft. They're out of Hong Kong. Found them on Etsy. So, gummy bears. So cute. There's these charms with the different like stained glass kind of looking stuff. I got them in different shapes, triangles, squares, circles, some roses, kind of look like the Beauty and the Beast rose. I bought a bunch of them. It's just a little kind of Sailor Moony looking cats sitting on moons, the same moons that I had from before. And I made all those stitch markers. I don't know if you all have seen them, but I'll show you as I'm working on projects. So Saturn, some cactus, cacti, which are super in right now. Like that's the look right now. Oh, and some bees. See if you can get a good look at some of these, because these are really cute. I was thinking about the Hotel of Bees. So they're, focus. Well, you can kind of see it. It's a little blurry, but bees. Carrots, also adorable. Little stars, a bunch of these, and I put these on with other stuff. Yeah, there's the circles with the stained glass. And then some owls, because I love owls, as you've seen from my various tattoos. So I got a bunch of those, make a bunch more stitch markers. I'm probably gonna need some more rings and lobster claws. I've been having a hard time finding lobster claws that are gold that are big enough for stitch markers because they're all silver. I don't like silver, I like gold. So, take that, society. I will find them. Got those. I got some more yarn, so the only thing that I don't have a project for yet, oh, and the other thing that I did, I realized, what I had been doing before for projects where I had bought yarn and a pattern specifically to go together is I would print out the pattern and I would put the yarn and the pattern in a grocery bag, which I learned from one of my quilting friends are called PIGs, projects in grocery bags, which is hilarious. And they were a giant mess and they were all over the floor and I was worried that like bugs and stuff were gonna get into the yarn. And so I came up with the idea, which was then affirmed by some of my yarny friends, to put them in Ziploc bags or off-brand Ziploc bags and then store them in a tub that is sealed and everything. So that's what I'm doing. So this is some yarn that I got. I was at Disneyland and I saw that Molly had a Deadpool colorway and we are like obsessed with the Marvel movies. I've already seen Avengers twice. And I'm really excited for the Deadpool movie to come out, and she had some, so I messaged her and asked her for to dye me some and send me some. So this is her Deadpool colorway. So it's, you know, black and various red got 3 of those. And then she calls this Black Balloon. So it's a black. And then I've been having a really hard time finding a pattern that I want to make with them. So I'm still figuring it out, see if I want to try to come up with something, because I would love to make my husband a hat, like a beanie that has Deadpool on it, like on the front. And then if I make myself like a cool shawl or something. So I haven't really found a pattern yet for these, but I am going to use these. Deadpool is going to be one of my bad boys for the Summer of Love crochet-along that Claudia is doing. I might finish these earlier than it starts because the movie comes out the end of this month, and I would like us to have them for the movie, even if it's too hot to wear it. We can wear it in the theater. Not to the theater, but in it. But I like that idea. But I did think of another idea for the Summer of Love cowl. And if you haven't heard about this, Claudia is doing it with someone else. I'll have to look, and then I'll put it in the notes about who else she's doing it with. Is it Charlie? I can't remember. I'll let you know. And what they're doing is the Summer of Love. Last year they did like couples, and you made something based on a theme from a TV movie couple. And then this year they're doing bad boys and bad girls. So your favorite bad boy, bad girl, making a project based on them. And I believe it starts June 1st. But my other bad boy, is another Marvel movie. Well, actually, Deadpool is not Marvel. I should stop saying that. I'm pretty sure Deadpool is DC. Sorry. My husband would be like, no. He's read all the comics and stuff. Anyway, my other bad boy is from a Marvel movie. I've also seen Black Panther a million times and love that movie. And I got these Malabrigos from Make One Yarn Company a couple weeks ago, and I was like, these would be perfect for Killmonger, who is in Black Panther. He's the Michael B. Jordan, plays the character, and yeah, it's a good one. He's a good character, and Michael B. Jordan is great. He's a really good actor. But I thought this would be really cool because the character does, I don't know what you would call it, because I want to say self-mutilation, but that sounds bad. But like, one of the ideas of the character is that he is a Killmonger. It's the name of the character from the comic book. But every time he does a kill, he's in the military and all these kinds of things, he marks his body, and they look like little puffs, like the scarring in the character. I feel like as I'm describing this, it sounds really morbid, but I promise it's not that bad. It's a superhero movie. That's just how it is. But it kind of looks like this color a little bit. And so I thought it would be cool to do a cowl. And I'm thinking, again, don't have a pattern for this because I haven't found anything I like, but probably about this wide, and then kind of a short, just sit on your neck cowl, and do just regular, either half double crochets or double crochets, probably half double crochets around, and then do sections that are this color with the puff stitches, so that it would look like Killmonger, or at least be representative of the character. So I pulled these out. I think that'll be perfect for that. And like I said, this is Malabrigo Arroyo. So it's DK Superwash. What is this? 335 yards, 200 grams. Made in Peru. And this is the colorway Diana, and then this is the colorway Sunset. So that's gonna happen. I'm gonna try to do that cowl in June, because that'll be a pretty quick make. Even if I'm coming up with it, it's, pretty simple. I've done enough cowls in that kind of style to be able to figure that out, I think. So I'm gonna do that. I showed you those. Something else that's getting ready to get started on is my blur. So Deanne of Addie Day Designs from Australia is doing a crochet along for her Blurred Lines sweater. And this is the pattern. Blurred lines. And I bought the yarn for this a while ago and was gonna wait to make it because I was making my favorite crochet pullover, but I was not making that because somehow I ended up with 10 extra stitches on one side, and I decided to go ahead and frog the whole thing, and then I will make it later. And it'll be easier to make the blurred lines sweater because other people are making it at the same time. So if I have questions and things are not going well, I can ask people in the Ravelry group. So I will show you again. The yarn is from Moon Tower Dye Works out of Austin. And this is Topography is the colorway. And then this is, what did she call this one? Moon Rock. So this is the starting color, this is the main body color. And there's also Topography 2, which is slightly different, so I will just switch every 2 rows when I'm working on this one. And I put it in this bag. Molly, again, is amazing, and she set one of these aside for me to send when she sent my Deadpool yarn. But look at how cute this is. Woodland creatures and little mushrooms. Just so cute, and it's huge. It's huge. It's currently holding, what is it, six skeins of yarn? More than that? 8 something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's like 8 skeins. And I'm gonna go ahead and wind them and everything today, get everything set, get everything ready, finish my Caravan of Love, weave in the ends on my Malia bag, and then get started on this one. Because I also realized from doing this podcast that I don't do well when I have a bunch of projects going at once because it just gets really overwhelming. And so I'm gonna try to do one thing at a time for the most part, and then do you know, other stuff here and there, like if there's a crochet-along going on or something along those lines, then I can work on those as I go. So something else that's coming up, Mommy, if you're watching, skip this part, but Mother's Day is next Sunday here in the US, and so I'm gonna make my mom a shawl. And I'm not really sure why I started talking like I was from Wisconsin, but anyway, my March shawl club came from Vicki Brown Designs, and this is the yarn, and it's so pretty. It's a wool, it's a superwash cotton blend, 50-50, 4-ply sock yarn, 100 grams to 400 meters. And it's really pretty. It's nice for summer because it's got the cotton in it. And then this is the pattern, which is so pretty. And so I'm gonna make that for my mom for Mother's Day. So this is gonna be the big thing that I just try to get done in the next couple of days, so that when I see my mom next week, I can give it to her on Sunday. I'm gonna go to a winery in Temecula. It's nice doing Mother's Day as an adult with your mom. So that's on the horizon. I also, I was the favorites winner for the fortune cookie cal from Claudia at Crochet Luna. Thank you all so much. I've been off the grid, and so the fact that people still voted for me, I really appreciate it, because I love my blur shawl and I worked really hard on it, and so I appreciate it. But the prize for that was a copy of the blurred line sweater, which I already had. So Claudia said, just figure out a pattern that you want under $10 and let me know when you'll get it. And I had seen this on Ravelry, because it's an Annalise Baez pattern, and I'm working on the another one of her shawls. But I had seen this, and I know that Claudia is gonna make one as well, and so I asked her to go ahead and give me this pattern. It's the Lucinda shawl. So I just, yes, all of this. I love the kind of modern look of this with the straight, you know, straight crochet sides and the really stark contrast with the lace and the color in the middle. Love, 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 love. And so I went ahead and bought the yarn for that, of course. at Make One, because they're my new favorite shop. And I wanted to do a similar thing where you do gray and red, so I got these. This gray is from Peekaboo. She's one of my new favorite dyers. This is her merino nylon blend, fingering weight, kind of a bigger fingering because it's 400 yards to 100 grams. And this is the colorway Feliz Mala. And so I got those for the sides. And then I got some Madeline Tosh for the red in the middle. And I think the red that she uses for the sample for the pattern is a little bit more plum, and it's got sparkles in it too. But I loved this. When I saw it, I was like, yep, that's happening. So this is Madeline Tosh. This is her Twist Light. This is the colorway Blood Runs Cold. And there you go. I feel like I could equate this to like a bad boy from Game of Thrones or something, since it's called Blood Runs Cold, or Bad Girl. Oh my gosh, this would be perfect. Oh, that's gonna happen. Yep, I'll definitely, if I finish it in time, be entering this into the Summer of Love Cal. You all know who I'm talking about if you watch Game of Thrones. Okay, that happened. Those are things. Oh yeah. Something else, again, Peekaboo yarn from Make One Yarn Company. I do that with a lot of things, so I'm one of those people that when you go to a restaurant, I already know exactly what I want and I get the exact same thing every time, which is interesting because I'm really adventurous. I've been to like 4 continents. I know what I like. So I am going to make the loft shawl from Faye Dasper Hughes of Faye Dasper Hughes Designs and the Crochet Circle podcast. So this is her loft. When I saw that she had released it, I bought it right away. And I love how modern this looks, but also being relatively simple. So something that's going to be something that's more of the meditative, like I don't have to think too hard about it kind of crochet. And it's beautiful. And I had thought about, it's like a knit by numbers is the yarn that comes with this. I didn't print out that page. But it's coming from the UK and shipping was really expensive. And so I went ahead and tried to find something here. And I also told myself, because obviously I really like reds and pinks and gray and, you know, those kinds of colors, kind of, you know, more muted blues and that kind of stuff. So I told myself, branch out, get something different, see what happens. And so I did. And I got these. So again, these are Peekaboo. This is her sock yarn. This one is 415. Oh, this one is a merino silk blend. And the color is Venomous Dew Claw. I'm gonna have to ask her one day when I finally meet her where that name came from. This is merino nylon, Electric Iguana, which I love those colors in there. And then this is Brighter Blue Music, and again a merino nylon blend. So this is more along the lines of my color palette, a little bit brighter, and then so I tried to branch out from there on things that would go together with that. So I've got to decide. I think this is gonna be 1, this will be 2, and this will be 3. And if you've seen the loft, you'll understand what that means, because you do the 3 different colors and you put them in stripes and solid sections accordingly to what the pattern says. So you can kind of see how there are 3 different colors, and they kind of fade together a little bit in certain ways. So that's that. Now I have a Piz project in Ziploc. I don't think that's any better than pigs, but that's fine. Don't copyright that, or if you do, give me credit. Okay, so there's that. What else we got going on over here? Oh, I got my yarn for my Treasure Island. So the Treasure Island shawl from Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet. I said it right that time. So I'll just show you the picture. So that's the Treasure Island. And this one I definitely went with my color palette, and I'm okay with that. And I got like a yellow gold, again, Peekaboo Yarns. This is Ginger. This is the colorway. Merino nylon sock. Fingering weight. But this, I love this color. Oh, it actually goes really well with my top. There you go. When I finally get to it. I don't know when I'm gonna work on it, but I know I had told you about the Treasure Island, so I wanted to show you the yarn that I got to go with it. There's that. Let's see. Oh! Yes, excellent. I definitely have to show you this. So, I sat on my tea! I'm pretty sure Molly sent me that one, I think. I did get a chance to go down. My parents live in the same town as Claudia, and so I got to go down and see her and crochet and stuff. And she gave me pins. So she's designed these pins. You've got her just Crochet Luna pin, Yarn Loving Crochet Sisters, and then this is her new one. Crochet friends are the best friends. The best of friends. Which I really like. It's so cute. And now that I've shown it to you, I'll put it on my bags and everything. So I got that. And then I also, this happened a while ago, but if you remember the crisscross cal that Faye did with the Olin Ann magazine, lovely ladies, I won. I just went all over the place, which is great because I never win anything. But I got the skein of yarns. So this is the yarn. It's so nice. It's from TJ Frog, Shorelines and Strata, 4-ply, 100 grams, 380 yards. So I would say that's probably a sock DK-ish weight. But it's the color limestone, and it's 100% wool from Pole, Dorset, and Hebridean. Sourced from Dorset in the Isle of Skye, made in Britain. So it's, you know, local to them. It smells so sheepy. It's so great. Told you I have a problem. But these are really great. And then she does Dorset buttons and stuff too, which are really cool. And she sent me this really sweet card. It's like, congratulations, you won. Yeah, Tanya. So I got that too. And I got my knit crate. So I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you last month's because that yarn, as my grandmama would say, is ugly as sin. So something's going to happen with it. I'll over dye it or whatever. But this month it was very nice. And I did the global hookup yesterday with Faye and a bunch of people. And it was so much fun, and I loved it. And I got up to get my loft yarn to show everybody, and I realized that I had packages at the door, and so yarn time. So I got to open my knit crate while we were on the hookup. But this is the yarn. It's Librebus, and it's a knit crate yarn. You know, it's always their yarns, and so it's this black and white blended. Somebody let me know what you call this, because it's like 2 strands are the white and 2 strands are the gray. I don't know what that effect is called. Marbled? Marled. This is called Marled Sock. And the colorway is Gray Twist. And it's merino wool, Peruvian Highland wool, and nylon. Fingering weight. And then the patterns. I don't know if I'm gonna do this because the crochet pattern is a clutch, which I don't think I would ever really use. And the knit pattern is this nice wrap shawl thing. The Daxis from Suzanne Hogel. So maybe when I'll save it so that when I get good enough at knitting, I can do that, because it is a beginner pattern. We'll do that. So, ta-da! The theme this month was contemporary. So. Seems pretty contemporary. Did I forget anything in here? I think that's all of that. I showed you all of that. Oh, I will show you, I did, when I got my stuff for my Lucinda, they had more Zara. So this is the Peekaboo, this is the Zara colorway. And I bought this when I got stuff from my Hotel of Bees, and then I got more when I went for Yarn Crawl, and then they had one the other day. So I have like 5 of these now. But I think what I'm gonna do with them is the Crochet Project. They just released a new shawl book, their book 4 for shawls, and one of them is called Rings of Saturn, and this would be perfect for that. I'll have to find like a coordinating purple or something. I just heard some weird dinging. I'll have to find a coordinating like purple to go with it, but this would be perfect for that. So I went ahead and bought the shawl book. Again, I am hoarding. This is not even like half of the yarn that I have bought since the last time I podcasted. It's a little insane. But while I have the extra money, I'm gonna stash it up. And then I realized that I forgot something. So I'll be right back. Okay, so the other thing that I have been big time working on, spending a lot of time working on, and I'm absolutely loving, I got this at Disneyland, because I'm one of those people. I get the Inside Crochet magazine from the UK, and in issue 100, I think, was this one of the little small things. It's like at the beginning, it's like things we're loving right now or something along those lines. And I saw this Afghan and I said that I will have that in my life. I don't care what I have to do or how much it costs, it will exist and I will have it. And so I was able to find a kit from Love Crochet, because she did, so it's an Afghan, it's a mandala style, it's by Helen Shrimpton of Crochet and Crystals, and she did, it's like a partnership that she did with Stylecraft Yarns out of the UK. And so I found a kit for it on Love Crochet. She did a couple different colorways and I picked the one that I liked and I ordered it. And so I will just show it to you. So I'll put a picture up of what the finished one is supposed to look like from the Facebook page so that you can see what it looks like. And you'll see why this needed to be in my life. And so this is where I am. Look at how cool this is. Like, how freaking amazing is this with these colors and these textures? Like, it's amazing. So they're releasing a different section every week, and she's doing a video. So I printed out the pattern, but I haven't even really been using it because I'm just watching the video, because a lot of this stuff is stuff I have no idea what it is. Like folding single crochets and like weird puff stitches and some kind of like a hammer stitch or something. I don't know. Things I have never heard of. But when I watch her do it, since I'm a visual and an auditory learner, I can figure it out and do it no problemo. So this is where we are. This week, part 4 will be released, I think. And I'm not even done with part 1. But that is okay. I will do it at my own pace. But this is where we are so far. And this does use all of the colors at least once, so you can see all of the colors. It is so cool. Like, I can't get over how amazing this is. And the yarn is Stylecraft Cotton DK Classique in all of these various colors. I'll post a link in the description to the blog and everything from Stylecraft, so you can see all the stuff if you're interested. And then it's 100% cotton, DK weight, so hence the, Cotton DK Classique. That's kind of self-explanatory. Pattern. Again, I haven't really been following it. What I have been following is the instructions on which color to do for which row for this particular colorway. And it's called the Cosmic Cal, and she named the different colorways, and the one that I'm doing is Creation, which is actually really fitting because the training that I went to in Houston was to teach a class for this women's group that is a national United Methodist. It's called United Methodist Women, and then locally we teach at something called Mission U. So it used to be called School of Christian Missions. So it's like an educational, social justice, spiritual formation thing. If you're in the Protestant, mainline denominational world, you know what all of those words mean. If you're not, my apologies. But the study that I'm doing is about creation and caring for the earth and the environment and all of these things, and so it all fits really well together. And once I finish it, the training's at the end of June, and the Cal will be over by then, so I'm hoping to have the Afghan finished by then, but use it for the design and everything for my room, and we put a little kind of meditative space up, and so that'll be a part of that, and it's just really fitting, and it all flowed together quite nicely. So I'm really excited about that. I want to get some other stuff finished and things going and all of that, and then I'll keep working on it. It takes all of my attention because I have to watch the video, and then I pause it and I'll watch something else. I've been trying to catch up on podcasts. I'm still like a month behind on podcasts. You all, I'm very sorry. Except for Faye. I watch all of your podcasts religiously because you're my crochet hero. Slightly creepy, but what are you gonna do? It's the truth. And so it just takes all of my attention, and I really need to focus on it. And so when life is really insane, I just haven't really been able to do that as much as I would like to. So yeah, okay. So one last thing, I do have something very special for all of you who have been willing to stick through this insanely long podcast of me rambling with no notes. I am gonna do a giveaway. So when I saw Claudia and she gave me her pins, she gave me one to give away. So like I said, this is her new pin. Can you see? Crochet friends are the best of friends. And I'll post a picture, but this is really, really nice. Claudia is a genius and a lot of fun also. If you ever get to meet her in person, she's great. And so I will give this away. All you have to do is, of course, be a subscriber to my channel and comment on this video. And then a week from today, so next Sunday, May 13th, Mother's Day, I will draw a winner from the comments, and you'll get this awesome little pin. So that's all you gotta do is do a little comment. And, if you need some prompting on what to talk about, who are your crochet friends and why do you love them? Or if you don't have a lot of crochet friends, think of some ways you can go find some. So the global hookup has been perfect for me for that because, I live in a town where I didn't choose to move here. Like, I love living here and serving in the church I'm serving, but they appointed me here. I didn't necessarily say, yes, I want to move to La Mirada, let's find a job there. And so not really knowing a lot of people, and the community is a lot older, and so I just don't have a lot of friends my age and that kind of stuff. So the global hookup has been really great for that, and finding the crochet community. I was talking to someone, I'm gonna get all lifey on you here, at this training that I was going to, another pastor who's from the Midwest, and she was, one of the questions we were asking is, how do you do self-care? That's very important for us as pastors, as people who spend our careers serving others, to do stuff for yourself. And I was telling her how finding crochet and finding this fiber community has been really life-giving, has been really helpful in letting me make sure I spend time taking care of myself. And one of the ways of doing that is finding this really encouraging community of people who are just fun and love what they do and have this shared common interest. And even though we have people who live in the UK and Australia and Europe, other parts of Europe and South America and you know, all over the world, we can come together around this common thing that is crochet and yarn and knitting and everything else, and, you know, yarn, hand dyeing and whatever. We can all come together around that. And I know that there is always drama. I can see that in like the Facebook groups and stuff that I go on every now and then, and I'm sure there's drama everywhere, but because it's mostly on the internet, I can avoid it if I want to. Because I don't have time for drama. I don't have the emotional energy for drama. I have enough drama going on in my daily life with people who are in need, right? And so crochet has helped me to do that, and especially doing this podcast, because it's just been really encouraging. People are like, yeah, thanks, great, keep it up, you know, and commenting and making suggestions and all that kind of stuff. So you guys are great, and you are really helpful for me to be able to take care of myself and to be able to have something that is completely outside of my work, because there's no such thing as not taking your work home with you when you're a pastor, because you get phone calls in the middle of the night, you know, people are having emergencies, or somebody, you know, sets the alarm off at the church building and I have to drive over there at midnight. That has happened a couple times. And so anyway, you all are great, and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you watching. I look forward to being able to send this beautiful and amazing pin to someone. And of course she included some tea, because why crochet if you can't have tea as well, or coffee, or, you know, water, whatever floats your boat, some kind of beverage. I did, when I went out to lunch today, I got some milk tea, which is really big here in Southern California. But it has bobas in it, and I didn't think about that. It's little tapioca balls, and I am definitely gonna have to do a bloopers, because I took a drink of it and I was like, boba, trying to talk at the camera or a bad combo. So I haven't been drinking my milk tea, but I will, no worries. Yeah, and I'll show you stuff as I go. I'm gonna try to keep posting on Instagram to at least stay up there, so you can find me on Instagram as the Tatted Tatter, and on Ravelry as Tatted Tatter. If you type in Tatted Tatter, you'll find me either way, because there are not a lot of them. Luckily, I'm unique. And I look forward to seeing you on the internets and all of your crocheting goodness, and I will see you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye. Boba was a bad idea for a podcast. I should not drink that while I'm trying to talk. Saves the yarn, and I let the dog in. You want to come here? You want to come say hello? No? Okay. Oh no! Remote down. Okay. There. So many things. So much stuff. The sun is going down, so it's actually nicer. It's not as much glare, but whatever, maybe. Why aren't you turning off?